Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I did not expect to be away from YouTube for so long. April just flew by so fast, and if I'm being really honest, I felt kind of frustrated at myself that I didn't capture more of the month and more of my time out and about. But I hope you guys enjoy a bit of a slower homebody vlog where I can just kind of catch up with you guys and share my thoughts as we go through April. I hope you enjoy. Been a while since I have turned on the camera and vlogged. I don't know why. April has just escaped me. Like, I'm looking at my phone, I'm like, no way is it the 17th of April. No fucking way. I have had such a beautiful pinch me kind of day. Like, I drove my car to Armadale from north side, so that's like a pretty big drive that used to like freak me out, and I felt so chill and so fine. Like, my driving anxiety has just improved so much. I think a lot of it is just like me continuously doing it and just like the work I've been doing to like reprogram my brain to not like jump to anxiety with driving. But also I went to a Chinese medicine doctor who did like acupuncture and like cupping on me, and she also put me on these supplements that I've been taking every day. She thinks that I have been quite low on progesterone, so we've been trying to get my hormones and my like iron levels kind of back. I've also been taking rhodiola, which I know a lot of women swear by, and I just think that the combination has just really been helping my general like nervous system and anxiety. Just wanted to put it out there because I think that I can often forget that these things we're feeling can also be really helped with like physically. Like, even if you're not physically unwell, just like remembering to like check your bloods, go and get that extra support, like take your supplements just really helps. Like, I feel like I've been sleeping so much better. I just feel mentally so much clearer. Whether it's placebo or not, I'll keep taking these. But yeah, driving anxiety is so much better. The weather at the moment is just so beautiful. Like, Melbourne is just blue skies, autumn, like the trees are all going red, which I feel like at home we just don't really have seasons. So I'm just like really enjoying living in a place that actually like shows its seasons. It's so comforting for me. I actually went to High Street in Armadale today, which was my first time there. It was so beautiful. I feel like I'm constantly like unlocking new areas of Melbourne, and I got invited to go to 2 shops to pick up outfits, which is just like, I don't know. I think I'm just still struggling to comprehend that like gifting is like a thing that I get now with my job. I think I always feel a bit like unsure if to like film like a haul, because I never want to like promote like a materialistic mindset or consumerism. But I feel just so grateful and so excited about so many of the recent things that I got that I thought, let me show it to you, because like this is crazy. I got this dress from Permanent Vacation. It is literally, I hope the camera's picking it up, it is the most flattering fit. I'm wearing it on top of these trousers I got from Permanent Vacation. Anyway, I have been wanting a floor length, just classic black coat for so long, and this one is so soft, such a nice fit. The next few days are actually like really hot in Melbourne, but I just know that like the cold is around the corner. I don't actually think I own a single vest, and I feel like it's just such a great layering piece as soon as it starts getting colder, and it's just so soft. And I just love grey. Like, even with like these pants, like, so cute. And the winter prep doesn't end there. I went to Enapelli and they kindly gifted me so much. This is like the best fake fur I've ever felt, and it's just such a nice color. I just literally feel safe. Like, I feel like in winter having this, I'm just gonna be like in my happy place. Like I'm in a cocoon, I'm ready for my hibernation. This is just so comfortable. I feel like I'm gonna end up wearing this so much. You could like zip it all the way up. Like this is just like a classic like everyday running errands, like so good. I feel like this jacket is something that like I wouldn't normally gravitate to, but I would see like another girl wearing it and I'd be like, she looks so cool. I feel so cool. This is my new stool. I'm obsessed with her. It is currently 1:12 and I feel like around this time I usually kind of crave having another matcha, but I'm just so sensitive to caffeine that I'm always worried that having a matcha later in the day is going to affect my sleep. And when I was in Sydney at the end of March, I came across this really cute little like Japanese shop. Everything inside was like imported from Japan, and they had this organic mulberry kua, I don't know how to pronounce that, matcha. So it's not actually a matcha, but apparently it tastes very similar to matcha. But the thing about this is that it doesn't have any caffeine, so it's kind of like a great alternative if you want a matcha but you don't want to have the caffeine later in the day. But I need to get some more work done, and so I just thought, let's make a little mulberry kind of matcha tea situation. Hopefully that will just be a nice little pick me up minus the caffeine. I didn't actually add milk. I think you could and it would still be yum, but apparently you're not really meant to add milk with it. I guess also matcha lattes are not like traditional Japanese. You're not really meant to add milk to matcha, but first sip. Yeah, I really like that. That's really comforting. So literally all I did was a bit of water, mix it in. This is what the tea looks like. I'll write it here, and the shop that I got it from. Added a bit of maple for sweetener while I mixed it. It is such a gloomy, cold day in Melbourne today. It's actually really nice. I feel like I've just really embraced the colder days recently. I feel just ready for hibernation, clearly from this vlog. I've literally been filming pretty much just at home because I've just felt like such a homebody recently. I had a really sweet, wholesome walk in the park with Edie today, and I don't know, I came home and I was just thinking about the idea and the experience I've had of just being a really highly sensitive, emotional person. This morning I had a big cry, and I've actually had a big cry the last few days. I've just been feeling really emotional, and I think that my whole life I have often felt a lot of embarrassment and like shame for feeling things so deeply and for crying. Like I cry a lot and I really struggle to hold in tears if I feel them. And so now I can recognize that crying means that I'm like listening to my feelings and that I'm releasing and I'm processing and I'm not holding on to things. Like crying for me is such a release. But I think I still, even now, after knowing that, you know, my sensitivity is such a gift and it's so human and normal to feel things deeply, you just can't help feeling just really embarrassed sometimes for, I don't know, getting affected and upset over things that maybe you feel like you shouldn't be, like shouldn't make you cry. And I think that has been my experience a lot of my life, of just feeling like, oh fuck, like be strong, like why can't you just suck it up like everyone else? A few weeks ago I posted like a little video on my TikTok just being like, just a reminder to any of the fragile, sensitive girlies out there, your ability to feel your emotions is so brave, and take care of your little heart. And I want to say also, I didn't mean to exclude any men in that video, just because I kind of am realizing, you know, if women are holding all this shame for feeling things deeply, like fucking imagine the weight of men feeling that, because they also feel things deeply, even though society likes to make us think differently. And yeah, I guess the biggest key thing that really changed my perception of my sensitivity growing up was realizing that it's actually so much braver to feel your emotions and express them openly rather than just suppressing them. But it's crazy, like still when I cry in front of people, I can't help but like apologize. And I think that also comes from a place of just like really not wanting to make anyone uncomfortable, because on top of also being quite sensitive, I feel like I'm very hyper aware of like affecting people and like how they feel. So when I'm crying, I'm not only crying, but I'm going like, oh my god, am I making this person uncomfortable? Which is also such a crazy thing that I'm trying to reframe, because I know when anyone is open and, you know, emotional with me, I'm like so grateful for their openness and so grateful to be let into their heart. And so it's crazy that when I'm the one letting someone in or being emotional with someone, I'm going, oh fuck, I'm being so annoying and I'm making them uncomfortable, when in reality I should, you know, be like, yeah, I'm letting this person in. And that is such a privilege as humans, to be able to connect and be let into people's hearts. And even though, you know, the world we live in now is so open, and in so many ways we talk about mental health and, you know, we say how important it is to express our feelings, there is still definitely like a huge societal expectation to kind of put up an okay front all the time, or to just be like able to just operate normally in the world, when actually sometimes it's really overwhelming and sometimes things hit us really hard. I'm currently in my week off social media, and I think I notice my emotions a lot more when I'm not on social media, because sadly I think that a lot of us actually do use social media to numb our emotions a little bit. A lot of you guys have messaged me that have like done the detox with Joy, which for those of you who don't know, I take the last week off social media every month. I always post it on my Instagram if you want to join. But yeah, I got a lot of you guys messaging me being like, fuck, like it's so hard, because all these feelings can arise when we're just forced to sit with them. Because the truth is, so much of the time I feel like our generation, you know, a feeling comes up and instead of dealing with it, we just like go on our phone, and it's this like distraction, disassociating kind of numb cycle. And yeah, it's really crazy when you don't have social media to kind of grab to in these moments. You're forced to really sit with yourself and feel your emotions. And I just wanted to say, as someone who has cried a lot over the past 3 days, and even with the way I've been brought up to feel so comfortable in my emotions, I still can feel so embarrassed for being this way, because so much of the subliminal messages we're seeing all the time is that, you know, our emotions are weak. I could definitely create a whole video on this, so let me know if you'd be interested in that. For now, I just wanted to say that if you are feeling deeply, you are not alone. Your emotions and sensitivity is a gift. A lot of the things I talk about in my vlogs are things that I need to hear myself. So I'm assuming that if I needed to hear this, then maybe there's someone out there that also needs to hear this. Jumper is from Observe. Pocket on the side that I can put little snacks in, or maybe my pens for my journal. Anyway, I think it's just aesthetic, but I'm like, I want to use it. I'm wearing Nude Lucy jeans that I kind of need to tailor shorter because they really do be dragging on the floor. And then I'm wearing the new Puma Speed Cat. You guys know I like barely wear color, like I'm such a neutral girl. So this feels crazy, but I feel like as soon as I put the Puma shoes on, I was like, we need to go color. It just feels fitting for like how blue it is out there. I feel like my shoes match the sky, which makes me so happy. I don't know if I should just keep wearing these glasses or put contacts on. I'm going to this cafe called Oisoi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, probably not, Osoi. But it's this tiny cute little Japanese cafe in Brunswick. I've been there once before with a friend and I tried their hot matcha and it was actually pretty good. Also just very reasonably priced. Like, people be charging fucking $10 out here for a matcha latte these days, so I was very pleasantly surprised. I think their hot one was like $6.50, but they do the like strawberry matchas and I haven't had one of those ever. I think yeah, I don't think I've ever ordered one of them because they've never looked that good, but these ones look like they might actually be good, so I'm kind of tempted to try. I've already had one matcha today, so this is more of just like a treat. So yeah, let's go. Whoa, that matcha made me feel good. Now I'm listening to Boniver's new album, Sable Fable. It has been literally on repeat for the past week. I'm just obsessed. It's just fits every mood I'm in at the moment. It is later on, my boyfriend is out, so it's just me at home. So I'm just gonna make a comfort meal of mine, which is just minestrone soup. I actually got gifted this beautiful pot from our place, and I haven't had a meal that suited it yet, so I haven't made it. Also, guys, I bought myself an apron. It's just a little skirt one, but I got it from the same market that I got the yellow stool from. It's this like really cute market called Mills Market in Daylesford, which is about like an hour and a half out of Melbourne. Yeah, this is my new apron. It really does not do anything because I feel like if anything splashes on you, it's up here. So this is really just so unnecessary. This is the worst soup I've ever made.